on KFOR.
Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. Happy Monday. Welcome into the Morning Hookup. Bill Hutch, Izzy, Elijah Herman, back at you. Beginning of the week. Hope your Monday's off to a great start. I feel really sore today. It's the chair.
That you didn't show they don't rise.
No, I don't want to do that. Look at that.
Not only does it rise, but I think it sinks down.
What happened? Here. They keep disappearing.
Yeah, there's a chair bandit.
Yeah.
Or
What's interesting is I did have a meeting in this building last evening, and I didn't notice anything I missed about the chairs as of about 7:30 last night.
Oh. It was last night and this morning.
Leave some candidates.
Welcome in. A lot to get today. We'll go Husker baseball, Husker softball, NBA, NHL. We've got Major League Baseball around the dime. Evan Blamey along with Harold, number 2. I got a bunch of birthday shout outs. My son turned 12 today. Happy birthday, Tanner. My brother's a little older. Happy birthday to my brother. Happy birthday to my aunt. Happy birthday to my wife's cousin. It's crazy.
wow.
May 4th is a big day.
May the 4th be with them.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are watching Star Wars right now.
We are. We're in the midst of it. Going through them. We got another one down last night. But happy birthday to everybody out there. We always do. My kids are like so different because we give them birthday breakfast. They get to pick. Right. The other two are, they're all easy. You just got to go execute. One of them was like, typically the other two are like, hey, breakfast sandwich from this place or breakfast or donuts from this place. Tanner, last night we asked him, hey, buddy, breakfast, happy birthday breakfast. Dad, we got steak left? Yeah. Yeah, how about steak, eggs, and candied bacon? Up at 5:15 this morning, slaying it.
Kids got taste.
Just cut some steak up and just fry it back up, nice and crispy, a little bit crisp on the side, a little scrambled eggs with the cheese and the milk and all the good stuff in it. And, take the brown sugar and coat the bacon with it and bake it up real nice. That was breakfast in the Hooks house this morning.
Now, I feel like you have to have at least. Do you have toast with that meal as well?
No toast. They don't
really. That feels like a toast meal.
My kids go. I think toast should be with that meal. Yeah. Yes. We only have one kid that does toast. My middle kid Ty will do toast. He is simple toast guy usually. Like every morning, butter toast or a combination of him. Stacy's dad does toast with peanut butter, cherry jelly, and cinnamon on the top, like cinnamon sugar on the top. He'll do that. But my family more is a biscuit family.
Oh, yeah.
They'll do biscuit because what they'll do is a breakfast like that. They'll take a biscuit and make a biscuit like a sandwich out of it.
That's fair. That's 100%.
But it is a toast. It's like a good toast meal. But I would change the eggs up a little bit, be a little sunny side up.
Over easy.
Yeah, buddy, because you need that toast on that. But yeah, all that.
I promise I'm getting caught up in the stream here soon.
Where you at?
The internet in here is, I'm not sure if it's doing you any favors.
It's subpar.
It's not doing me any favors.
Mine's still up. I'm up. I got in.
I am connecting to a hotspot on my phone and jumping in.
All right. Good morning, Flex. And thank you. He said happy birthday, Tanner, entire Hooksy family. Morning, Shane. So we'll get a lot to get to today as well. Again, we'll talk Derby as well. What a fantastic Kentucky Derby and the results that came out of that. And a lot of stories coming up. But I guess centrally focused this morning on a losing weekend for Husker baseball. First time swept all year. First losing weekend? Am I right?
Since Auburn.
Been a long run.
Oh, wait, no, that's Oregon weekend.
That's right. Oregon. Yeah, but these are far and few in between. As you look at it, this was a weekend, as Evan had told you last week. This was a RPI maintenance rest of the season.
Yeah. And
you took it in the shorts for 3 games.
First time you've been swept all season. I'm not counting KU.
No,
a 2-game
midweek
does
not
not
count.
count.
Series.
First time you've been swept. First losing series in a while, and this one felt like a gut punch.
This one,
just because you got the pitching performance that you've been looking for a couple weeks now on a Friday night, and you go muster 1 run. And then the rest of the weekend after that, and I said this on a couple of our weekend editions of the Average Joe show. I'll say it again here now. The at-bats felt slightly immature this weekend.
Yes.
I didn't watch as much of Sunday, but watching Friday, watching Saturday, and then seeing how Sunday was going, and eventually just going, I don't care to watch this. I'm gonna turn it off.
I did it a couple of times
yeah.
during this series. I watched most of the series and I ended up flipping it. Like, it's like, what is happening?
I guess the brand of at-bats that this team has taken this year has been, for the most part, whatever the offense has been going well, patient ABs, fouling off pitches, waiting for your pitch, taking advantage. This week didn't feel like it felt like guessing. It felt like guys were going up there off balance from a mental point of view, off balance. It's hard for me. It's hard for anyone to dive into the mind of a high level batter. They haven't been.
Yeah. This is. I also want to preface this by, I think there's a lot in front of this team still.
Yeah.
Okay, they're still there. This week and what you just said, I agree with. You just felt like you went there and you just got, like, you got punked at Ohio State.
Yeah,
you got punked, and when adversity hit this team, they couldn't overcome it. Again, I agree. The Friday night start, we can get to the rotation. As Shane mentioned about the rotation, didn't make any difference. But I go back to it. Maybe Yas is not there, but anytime in a college game where you get a start like that, a kid that goes out on a Friday night, throws over 100 pitches, gets you into the 7th inning, and you lose 2-1, which that one was like, 1 run, whatever. It was a bad look for that Friday start. And then they never recovered from that throughout the weekend. Mm-hmm. They did not host the ability from the mental side to overcome Ohio State with Ohio State was playing for, like, staying out of the cellar, out of that bottom side. And they played like the better team in this. They pitched well, they hit well, they did everything well. And this Husker team never responded one time.
If I knew nothing about these teams going into it, I would have thought Ohio State was the team that was top 15 in RPI.
I mean, by the way, they jumped, by the way, with Ohio State's win 3, 4, 5, 6, like into the 7th spot. Big jump for them, as they were now they're 13-11 in the Big Ten. Those 3 wins come at a big time for them. As you take those away, they were hovering with a different type seeding situation going into the Big Ten tournament.
Mm-hmm. With all this in mind, like, and to me, I thought it was more, and you can't dive into their minds again. It felt more mental to me this weekend. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure if that is the letdown of what Friday night ended up being. If that's a team that's, you mentioned that off the air, if it's a team that's reading their own press clippings, you don't know what it is, but it felt mental. I don't think it's time to panic because of that.
No. Yeah, and that's what I'm impressed with. This was a gut punch weekend. Now, the question will be is how they respond coming up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How they respond coming up with, you getting the word this morning. Now you're 19th in the RPI. You are 25th in the country now. A lot of that regional talk is put to the side right now. Okay. I don't believe that came into play, but you want to think maybe, like, was that one of those weekends that you kind of slept walk into thinking, I'm going to go up here and just go beat Ohio State. We're going to host this regional.
Mm-hmm.
Not that was it. Again, we can't get into the minds of those D1 athletes, those coaches. It is hard to maintain your focus with everything going on out there, with the talk of hosting a regional for the first time since 2008 or this and that. But this was a team that I had not watched all year long.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
I agree. Some of those at bats, man, it was just, and yesterday was just all right.
If you're
like, we were serving up home run balls left and right.
It's like if you're the team, you just got to flush this weekend.
That Ohio State team looked like us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Looked like us when you're like, they took advantage of everything. When they needed a big swing, even yesterday, look at the game yesterday, what was it, 2-1 or something? And then that 3-run bomb.
And the team looked so unlike what we've come to expect. That's why I say I think it's a flush it weekend as opposed to a learn from this weekend. Just something looked off. And on a road trip with college athletics, you never know what that can be. There are so many factors that can go into a team that is mentally off. Hey, you booked a hotel and it happens to be in a louder area of town. You're not getting much sleep at night, whatever it may be there. Food, whenever you're on the road in college sports, the food that you end up getting on the road is not what you get at home. I mean, there's so many tiny factors to going on the road. That's why going on the road is so tough in college athletics, because it's not like professional sports. Maybe the football side of things is getting closer, but it's not like professional sports where you bring the team chef with you and you're getting all these catered meals that fit everything beautifully, fit everything perfectly. Like,
but
hey, you're on a road trip after the game, you're getting Applebee's or whatever. Like,
but
even at the college level. So I'm saying it's so different that, like,
can I also say it's late in the season?
Us speculating though what mentally went wrong this weekend is a bit of a fool's errand, because
I just think here's the deal for me. Again, I agree with part of what you're saying, but it's so late in the season. At this point, I think this is one you just ran into somebody that wanted it more than you did on the baseball field. When it came down to it, if you watched how Ohio State approached the game, they approached these games acting and just in knowing or possibly believing that they were the better team. Nebraska running here with all this hype of being number 16 in the country. Yeah, you just didn't respond. That team did not respond. Now, with that, I believe in the world of the game will give you back. It is giving you a 4-day rest. It's giving you rest, which I think this Nebraska baseball team dearly needs coming off a 1-3 week. Dearly needs. There's no midweek game this week. You have Iowa coming to town, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is a team that needs a break, refocus, and get back at it. Because if you are, maybe the talk of regional can just go away for a minute. You're going to play in one. Take away the talk. Let's not talk about the tickets and all that kind of stuff. Let's not talk about hosting. The only chance you have that, and we'll talk to Evan about it, is sweeping the rest of the way out. And then you're still waiting and seeing, even if you sweep the rest of the way out, because your RPI, the teams you're playing, minus winning the weekend, don't really help you.
No. They're hold serve weekends with the RPI.
That's all.
You could get some help from USC down the stretch. They have a big series upcoming, I believe, not this weekend, but next weekend against Oregon. That's an RPI potential helper for you. If USC goes out and wins that weekend, you swept them, you lost the one game, or you lost the 2 games to Oregon. Like, that could be a game that, or a series that moves some things for you RPI wise. But to your point, like, the opportunity that comes to raise your RPI significantly probably doesn't come till the Big Ten tournament. Is it can say Lincoln Regional goodbye? All that drama we had talking about the tickets last week, is it?
I think it's still. I want to believe there's still a possibility looming.
Probably need a little help.
You're going to need help. That series, by the way, you're talking about is the 14, 15, 16. So not this week, the following weekend. USC headed out to Eugene.
Yeah, that's an RPI mover for you potentially.
Mm-hmm. Also, by the way, you're still in the dogfight now because the rest of the way out, when you look at it from the standings perspective, you are now tied for second in the Big Ten. And closely, yeah, like this isn't Nebraska looking ahead, having to play some good baseball the rest of the way out. You sit now 17-7, tied with Oregon in the Big Ten at second. USC looms there at 19-8. Michigan and Purdue both sit at 15-9. This thing is not said and done yet on the perspective of where you finish at in the Big Ten from a seeding side of the Big Ten tournament.
And with that in mind, maybe the final conversation to have with this weekend, the change you made to the pitching rotation, can you keep that after you get swept? You make the change and you get swept? And I thought, I mean, Yasa continued. He pitched a Jim Friday night. Mm-hmm. Your bats couldn't get it done. I think Blackowitz was fine on Saturday. Katsky had another rough go. I'm not sure what's changed with him since he moved into the weekend, because he was Friday and something seemed to have what would be the opposite of clicked, broken. He was pitching great, and now the question almost becomes like, do you have to move Tyhorn back into a starting role?
Well, you're in a slippery slope. You really are in a slippery slope. Now you've made the change, and it was a late season change at this point. Changing again or doing something outside of this now continues to mess up flow.
Yeah.
And not just flow, but it messes with the mental side of this, because you're taking Akatsuki from Friday to Saturday, and then how does he get out of the rotation? What does that do from the mental side of the pitching side? Now, that's not the only reason why you don't, but the flip-flopping now is like, okay. And then it looks like you're still trying to find something. Mm-hmm. Well, I believe what needs to probably occur is, you personally, I'd leave the rotate where you're at now. Now, you could move Yasa back, but let's just say you leave it. The Sunday Fitzkoski, it is a shorter leash than you've ever had in your entire pitching life. Horn becomes the most valuable guy on that staff because of one, the number of innings he's pitching right now, and two, be ready to go at all costs. It's interesting. I thought Yasa was magnificent on Friday.
I think it's like a batting order. If you switch it up too many times, it just throws off the flow.
I don't know how I was hitting.
Rhythm
I was hitting first. Now I'm hitting fourth. Now I'm hitting fifth. Now I don't even know what my role is because we all know those roles play different. Those spots play different roles in games. You know, I can tell you this just on the personal side. My kid, again, we're talking about 11U baseball. Had to have the conversation with him. He has led off for 2 years. Right? Solid leadoff, gets on base, blah, blah, blah. They made the decision he's going to hit third now. It was a mental side for him to go, wait a minute, what does hitting third mean? Same thing in that world, right? If you go from first to third, if you're a Friday night guy versus Saturday night guy or Sunday afternoon guy, it's a different mentality. They got to be careful not to ruffle it too much down the stretch run leading into postseason. But again, I think they got much needed rest coming up with this. Just kind of like ease the mind just a little bit. So, but they'll get back at it this weekend against Iowa coming up. We'll talk more about that. But hey, congratulations, Nebraska softball. Congratulations. You did it. You win the Big Ten. First time ever winning the Big Ten. Dominating way as they'll now be the 1 seed, the Big Ten championship, Big Ten tournament coming up with. That's a small site for them, folks. That's a small site, and we all know that. Their sights are set on way bigger things as they move through the rest of their season.
I mean, it's a team that is national championship good.
Mm-hmm.
They are. There's no doubt.
Simple as that.
That one is just so it's one, they got good bats, but two, in the circle.
Oh, yeah.
Their freshman development in the circle puts them in that national conversation forefront right away.
And what I love about this team is look around the key contributors that are 500-mile radius, if not a 100-mile radius of the University of Nebraska.
Yes.
You got the Kamenzen sisters from Valley. You have Ava Kuzak, who's from Colorado, 500-mile radius.
Yep.
You got, obviously, Fromm. You have Alexis Jensen from Gretna, Emerson Cope, Topeka, Kansas. Like you got a flair on this team of folks that are from this area. Hoffman, Elkhorn,
just look at it.
Key contributors on this team. The foundation of this roster is built with a 500-mile radius in mind, and they're, as I said, national championship good.
They finished winning 18 in a row in the regular season. They will kick it off Thursday, 12:30, where they'll either be the winner of Ohio State, Michigan, coming up in that one. You look at some of the stats from some of these ladies this year.
Eye-popping.
It's, I mean, just look at we all know that what Fromm brings you across the board. She finishes the season, but regular season, by the way, 16-4, 1.26 ERA, 138 2/3 innings pitched, 184 strikeouts.
Yeah.
In that,
how many innings pitched again?
138 2/3.
That's a huge piece of development. She was over 200 in the regular season last year.
Well, and I mentioned him before, but it's the development of this young lady, Alexis Jensen, in the bump, 21-2, 128 2/3 innings, 185 strikeouts. Fromm, by the way, goes out and only gives up, boy, this is an incredible stat when you look at this, 27 runs total on the year, 25 earned.
Yep.
Yikes. Also, combat that with also, by the way, she hit 429 with 19 home runs. It's ridiculous.
Oh, and an OPS of what?
She slugged 894, by the way. Her own base was 518.
So we can do some quick math here, right?
This team, by the way, when you look at
an OPS of 1412.
And when you look at this team, you talk about being a complete team, how they are a national championship caliber. We've talked about their pitching. We talked about their hitting. On the season, by the way, they went in 47 games, only committed 30 errors on the season. That's a 980 fielding percentage for 47 games. 15-1 home, 17-1 on the road, 11-4 neutral, 23-1 in the Big Ten as they will again start their journey coming up to head to that College World Series coming up.
And I guess you don't want to make light of a bad situation, but we remember going back 2 years, the gut punch it felt like whenever Jordy tore ACL first game of the year, and she had a long road to recovery back. And it's great to see her make that recovery and be at the top of her game at this point after suffering a bad knee injury. But the bit of the blessing in disguise that was it gave her this year at Nebraska 2026, where you can get the carryover, the crossover with her and Jensen. You wouldn't have gotten that. Again, not to say any injury is good, but there are blessings in disguise in life and in sports, and that was one of them. With that extra year of eligibility, you get a matchup with Jensen, and that's what's taking this team to the next level. The fact that you have a 1-2 punch in the circle that takes pressure off of Jordy, that lets her frees her up, I guess, takes some of the strain off of her. And I mean, there's I don't want to say minimal drop off because Jordy's great, but there is less drop off
absolutely
than probably anywhere else in the country between your ace, your best player in college softball, and Jensen right behind her. That was a blessing that takes this team from being very, very good to being national championship good.
Boy, good things coming up for them as they approach it. Good morning, Todd. Good morning, Thum Malone. Yes. Also, shout out a lot of birthdays this morning. A laundry list as well, but a Husker legend, Henry T. Buchanan, happy birthday out there. Shout him out with some messages. He is on Facebook. He's just not on any other social media. I probably woke him up this morning. I sent him a message this morning. Probably woke him right up out of bed.
I'll email him or something.
Yeah. Can you email him the link?
I'm not on Facebook. So.
Email him a happy birthday link. So, all right, let's take our first break. We'll come back and talk. Let's look, man. There's some second round matchups, NBA, NHL, and a whole lot more when we return. Those off.
Cut my life into pieces.
I sent it to T this morning. I'm like, what up, brother? Happy birthday. There's something like May 4th is like, what were people doing? What were these parents doing like months before this birthday? Shut those off. I got stuff ringing in my house.
Oh, the Magic have fired Jamal Mosley after.
Yeah, I got you. Can you believe that?
Seems a little harsh.
I mean, I did take a snapshot of their one game, by the way, when they were scored 19 points in the second half. Yikes!
I was watching that on Friday. Well, they ended up shooting. Was it 3 for? I have it. Was it 3 made shots in the second half?
4, I think it was. I took it. I took the snapshot. It's where'd it go? I took the ESPN put their shot chart out. 4 of 37. 23 consecutive missed shots. 7 turnovers.
It was a rough watch.
Elijah, when you do your shorts for Average Joe Sports Show, how do you do that?
What site?
YouTube.
What do you, they have to be a 9:16 aspect ratio. That's the thing. If they're not 9:16, it posts as a regular YouTube video. So it's vertical 9:16. And was under 3 minutes, I think. So if it fits those two things, it automatically uploads as a short.
Well, I just mean like with the catching, like when somebody's talking, catching them individually.
Oh yeah, video editing. Edit and zoom in on them.
Let's go back to here.
Can't be too hard. I'm tech savvy. I'll figure it out. No, we don't have to talk about Game 7.
Oh, we're going.
Hey, good for Embiid. This is his first ever Game 7 victory. He was playing through the pain at the end.
Welcome back to the Morning Hookup. I'm not sure your mic's going to get turned back on. And it's not going to be because he doesn't know what button, it's because it's on purpose. Boy, we'll go back a few days and talk NBA because these first rounds are wrapping up or may have already wrapped up. Whatever, you go back to the May 1st, boy, Pistons, again, they ultimately get this thing done in big fashion. We'll talk about that coming up. But a couple of nights back, they won 93-79 in a night where it was historically bad shooting for any basketball team around. I think there's probably youth basketball teams that have been better shooting than this. The Pistons in the second half scored 19 points, 8 in the fourth quarter of an NBA basketball game. They missed 23 straight shots, 4 of 37 with 7 turnovers. That's awful. Moving forward, but they're out.
Yeah, and what was their lead? It was as high as
they were up
24
at half. It was 60 to 38.
22, and it became 24 early in the second half. And then here come the Pistons to win by 22.
Yes. No, 24. They won by 24. The second half points were 55-19.
Like a 40 point
55-19 in the second half.
That's
if you're wondering, on the backs of this, the Magic have fired their coach this morning.
He's gone.
Which, I mean,
that's shouting Billy Donovan, by the way.
I do think the Magic, talent-wise, probably should have been better than an 8 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go up 3-1 and you blow it. Though that feels premature to me.
Oh, well, yeah. Especially the morning after. Right? You're like, all right, we thought about it. You're out. Those decisions to me end up being ones that have already been made prior to the morning of. There's been discussions throughout this season on that, most likely.
God, I can't get over that. They were down by 22.
Yeah,
they were up by 22 and lost by 24.
60 to 38 at half. They were outscored 55-19 in the second. 93-79. Again, they do, last night going to get eliminated.
Oh, sorry. There are moments in sports, and I saw this discourse online yesterday. I kind of like it. There are moments in sports where you just have to, especially professional sports, you just have to tip your cap to their team and say they're professionals too. They're a roster full of guys that make a lot of money too, and they just went and made more plays. That's what you have to look at, I think, with the 76ers and the Celtics, which we'll get into. And then there are moments that are inexplicable where it looks like your team full of guys is not being paid going up against a team full of guys that are being paid millions of dollars. That's what the second half of Magic Pistons look like.
Yes.
That's not a moment where you as a player for the Magic can just tip your cap and say, you know what? You guys are well paid for a reason. You guys deserve this one.
Good job.
No, the Magic, you need to be looking inward after that one.
Yes, agreed.
But if we flip it over to 76ers and Celtics a little shorthanded, and that's one where you have to tip your cap to the 76ers going and making plays down the stretch.
Yeah. And you say shorthanded, I want everybody to know that I think not sending hate, but blaming Jason Tatum for this,
that was a career decision, by the way.
The dude just came back from an Achilles injury and had, tightness. He was obviously putting more pressure on one leg because he was trying to not have pressure on one leg. I wish Dane was here so we could ask him about that. But it wasn't his decision too. It was the coaching staff and the medical staff that shut him down and said, no, you're not playing. He wanted to go out and play. As far as the game, started off slow, put yourself in a hole. We're able to fight back, but just the same things you saw in games 5 and 6. Team not connected, couldn't stop Joel Embiid. That guy's an animal. I got to give it to him. Talking about being injured, him playing through his injury. He had like a surgery on April 10th or something like that.
Appendectomy.
And then
he got his knee kind of tweaked in that second half and was limping his way around the court and still making all the effort plays.
Just battled through it.
It's a guy, he had never won, Joel Embiid never won a Game 7 in his career. He was leaving it all out there. You could tell that he did not want that to be his legacy.
No, he played 39 minutes in that game, 34, 12, and 6.
In Boston, they had a chance, down the stretch with 2-3 minutes left. It's a 1-point game, had every opportunity in the world, had open shots, created turnovers. And I said, had every chance to take the lead and just couldn't. And then the Sixers finished the game.
Yeah, and that's I think what I was getting at with the tip your cap. I think that's a game where the Celtics just have to tip their cap to Tyrese Maxey.
Yes.
It wasn't bad defense. You were defending him well. It's just, hey, that's a guy that gets paid to put the ball through the hoop as well, and he did a better job putting the ball through the hoop. I mean, Jaylen Brown had a lot on his plate. I mean, you look at the guys.
We'll give Boston credit. They had 5 guys that scored.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the type of games when, again, you are shorting. Yes, Jason Tatum out, but those are the games where you have somebody that played 22 minutes and 12 minutes, and they go 0 for 4. You got 0 for 4, 0 for 2, 0 for 1, 0 for 3, 0 for 2. Like, you just got those moments.
It was essentially realistically a 6-man rotation. I know Garza got some minutes and Gonzalez got some minutes. Sharman was the 6th, and then other than that, it was just like, well, we got to get this dude 3 minutes on the bench. So let's go send Ron Harper out there.
Yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on Joe Mazzulla's starting 5? Putting Shireman, Ron Harper Jr., and Garza out there. That rotation had played 0 minutes together coming into that.
That's, to me, that's desperation looking across the other side going, I don't know how we're going to do this, but let's try to let's match up somehow.
Do something.
And you learn quick. I mean, they got Ron Harper out of that game fast.
Yeah, they were like, wait a minute. That didn't go like I envisioned. Yeah. That was a vision I had, but did not. So that series, other than we'll get to the second round. Also, a couple of nights ago, Lakers eliminate the Rockets in Houston by 20. LeBron James shows back up 28-7 and 8 in that game. They will get some rest as they'll move on coming up. And like we talked about that game. Oh my God, this thing is not go.
We had Cavs Raptors.
Cavs Raptors. Cavs get it done. They eliminate in a game 7 the Raptors last night. In that one. So we have got on Donovan Mitchell. Great game for him last night as he is got the Cavs moving on to round number 2. They start tonight?
No.
Yes, we get games tonight.
Okay. We don't get the
those are well rested. Tonight, you go second round. Some interesting matchups. 76ers go right back at it. They head to New York City to take on the Knicks. 7.5-point favorites by the Knicks. T-Wolves head to San Antonio minus 13.5. Obviously, news this morning that Anthony Edwards is questionable. Do we see him or not? Will be the question in that one.
And we did see footage coming out from the Timberwolves practice gym whenever they had some media availability. I believe that was yesterday morning. And Anthony Edwards in there was shooting around, was not with the rest of the team, but seemed to be moving around all right on that knee. Mm-hmm. We'll see him at some point in the series.
Yeah,
I don't think you probably see him. You don't see him for the first 2 games. You're probably not even taking him to San Antonio.
I think you see him at home.
But you get to games 3 and game 4 later this week. Could be some possibilities.
You got to feel for Philadelphia a little bit.
I think this is a bad spot for Philadelphia with the talking about tire legs and Embiid being a little under wraps a little bit. This is a tough spot for them to get back up and get going over to New York.
Play game 7. We play a 7-game series, and boom, 2 days later, you're back in another one. It's extremely difficult.
So those pop off today. Then tomorrow, y'all get the other 2 started. You get Cavs, Pistons. Cavs headed to Detroit. Detroit 3.5-point favorites. Curly. The Lakers head to OKC. OKC 15.5-point favorites in that one.
Do you think? Here's the question: do you get any Luka Doncic this series for the Lakers?
I think Luka's in the same boat as an Anthony Edwards. If you see him at home.
I mean, it's been a month since the hamstring strain, so you're maybe getting into in the next week or 2. if you want to risk some things, it's the playoffs. You're looking at maybe a similar situation with Luka as Anthony Edwards, where maybe you start ramping him up even before you might be comfortable and just say, hey, if you can't go, you have a long offseason to recover.
It's a spot. It'll be interesting to see what that looks like. I mean, is it a spot where he could probably get back at it at home, or is it a spot where when you look at OKC and how good they are and what they can do to you at both ends of the floor, you see how games 1 and 2 go to make your decision on Luka?
It's possible. I know.
Presumably, you're going to go home down 0-2.
I'm just seeing this from Brian Windhorst reported this morning that Luka has not started the ramp-up period, which you go through a ramp-up period of on-court stuff before you're ready to go play. But there is a report out there that he's expected to begin ramping up his on-court work at some point this week. So you could be looking at a return at some point next week. Would that be game 4, game 5? That would change the complexion of that series. As of right now, it feels like Thunder would walk pretty comfortably into the conference finals.
The Lakers have, I don't want to say no chance, but I would put it very low.
Unless LeBron,
even with Luka,
unless LeBron James turns back the clock and plays like 40-ish, he's 31 again,
but he's going to have 40 plus a night. I mean, you're talking what kind of effort you have to have. I mean, it's not just LeBron at that point. You just got to start getting it from everywhere on that side.
It'd have to be like LeBron circa 2016.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's yeah.
LeBron, whenever he had those battles with the Warriors 10 years ago.
Yeah, they don't have enough for OKC.
No,
but you get Luka back, and
then you're you're about a 25% chance.
Sure.
Right now you're like the I'll just go with the White Sox. Less than 1% chance of making the playoffs. That's where I'm putting. I wasn't going there.
Thank you.
So
hey, the Rockies aren't that bad this year.
They are not that bad this year. They fought hard with the Braves this weekend.
They did. I wasn't. They did.
They got swept, but they fought.
They did fight hard.
Are they good? No, but they are not that bad.
Better. We talked about last week.
They're not the laughing stock of the MLB. Thank you, New York Mets.
Or the Boston Red Sox.
Well, hey, you know who the Rockies got next?
Who?
The New York Mets.
Oh, must-watch TV.
The second series in 10 days with the Mets? If you're wondering, the Rockies swept them the first time around. So,
real quick.
That's fun.
Not real quick. Don't want to gloss over it, but there was some NHL action as we move through the weekend, and a lot of people were sticking close to these series as you were taking a peek at them. Hurricanes get off to a start in round 2, 3-0 on the Flyers. They're moving along in that one. Yesterday, my goodness.
Yesterday was a really good day.
Yeah, it was. Canadians 2-1 over the Lightning. They eliminate the Lightning and move on. The Canadians there. But, boy, what in the hockey match went on with 9-6, 15 goals. Avs 9, 4 in the third to go up 1-0 on the Wild.
Excitement was what it was all the way through.
I don't know.
It was fun because you went from this tense game with Montreal and Tampa Bay in Game 7. Montreal's goalie was standing on his head in that game. He had a fantastic performance.
28 saves, by the
way. Willed them to victory. And then the following game on the same TV network is Avs and Wild, which featured 5 goals in the first period, 5 in the second, and 5 in the third.
Did they even go? Is it like all empty net?
No,
full of goalies. We don't even need it anymore.
It was why. I mean, like those poor goalies, you feel bad for them because you had told me before this game that the Wild would get 6 goals across on Blackwood, and I'd say, oh man, the Avs are done for. Wild score 6 goals in Game 1. I guess you're on to Game 2. I mean, rest versus rust, but no, the Avs go and put up 9.
9.
It was a game where the Wild defensively just looked kind of slow. The Avs have such a huge speed advantage, but then the Avs are playing sloppy. I mean, set plays for Minnesota off of faceoffs that they're losing guys, and Minnesota's getting free shots on goal. Guys just not getting back in transition, like sloppy play from the Avs. I think they can get cleaned up. But at least for the neutral, and even for me, it was fun because every time the Avs would go take a 2 or 3 goal lead, here come the Wild storming right back. They tied the game up.
So you felt like you couldn't go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you're waiting for period intermissions.
Intermissions.
You're gonna miss.
You had to do that.
Yeah, I went up. I had done some meal prepping yesterday, and like I got the game turned on just in time, and stuff was in the oven. I was gonna come back. I missed 2 goals while I roasted some veggies. I was getting them in Tupperwares. I missed 2 goals while putting veggies in Tupperware.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go!
Yeah. You don't hear the horn, so it's a while going like, oh man, I go back and look at the score, look at the replay. Okay, come back, finish putting everything in the fridge, and then you hear the goal horn going off. Oh my god!
You got to run around the corner.
I guess I'll see the replay.
Today, 6 o'clock, you get the game 2 Flyers Hurricanes as the Flyers try to even that one up, and then you'll get the opening game of the Ducks and the Golden Knights out in Vegas, both on ESPN tonight on a Monday. So, excuse me. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll knock out this day in sports.
Hooks, what are your thoughts on Schreider?
I was reading and watching some stuff on him right now that mechanically he's off right now.
He's just had so many injuries, it's hard to get back to what he was.
Well, yeah. And because what happens, and again, I'm not a doctor, but I what tends to happen is you start changing things to save the body.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's done that because his velocity is way down.
It's like 5 ticks down.
It's way down right now.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because then him being hurt all the time and Acuna being hurt all the time.
Well, the Red Sox, Crochet hit the IL.
Yep.
Sonny Gray hit the IL. And then Ranger Suarez left the game early yesterday. Could possibly go on the IL. So they are down to.
Oh my gosh.
They brought up Peyton Tolley from AAA, and they brought up Jake Bennett from AAA. So the rotation is consisting of young AAA arms.
No, jeez. There's some injuries in baseball right now. It's nuts. Morning, Todd. Yes, we'll talk Derby. I saw it. I did watch it, and that is a cool deal. We'll talk about that coming up.
Last to first.
Huh?
Last to first in the final furlong.
They knew what they were doing. Right?
Horse has been doing it his whole life.
As Will Wilson would say.
By the way, he said his wife
flipping nailed it.
His wife, Todd's wife, picked and bet the winner.
Ooh. What are the odds?
Payday.
I think the horse was 30-1. Is that right?
Yeah, 25 or 30. I can't remember which one it was.
I guess I'm not sure where it closed. I know at the end of last week, whenever we talked about some of the horse names, because I liked Golden Tempo as a name. I was like, I could see that horse win. I didn't pick it.
Yep.
It's like I could see that horse winning based on name value alone. Golden Tempo feels like a Kentucky Derby winning name horse.
Felt like it could happen.
Uh-huh.
How many people do you think bet the Derby based on that, just name alone?
That's why I asked Will that question last week. I was like, does that change anything? He's like, no. But I'm like, okay. Me as the casual, I'm betting on name alone.
24. I think is it 24-1, Todd, that we're saying 24-1? They had some fireworks before that too. Late scratch on a horse. If you saw that,
like
see that video?
Flipped over or
flipped
something?
Over. And
Things worked out pretty perfect for me on Saturday. I got off the baseball diamond and I went, wonder what happened to the Kentucky Derby. Pull up on my phone, and it's like the finals couple of horses getting in the.
Because it was with us too. We were out in Bennington for baseball, and we drove back to a spot and got in the bar or restaurant bar just as they opened the gates.
Nice.
And everybody in there was just jumping up and down. Like there were some people dressed in their derby gear. Welcome back in the Morning Hookup. Thanks for hanging out with us on a beautiful Monday morning. Yeah, we'll get to talking Derby coming up. There was some excitement before, excitement during it. A first in the Derby. We'll get to that coming up. And a lot more. Evan Bland will be back with us. We'll talk more Husker baseball. We're going to go around the diamond as well. Major League Baseball. But let's do some this day in sports stuff.
I got a fun one for you.
Let's go.
Because this weekend was the Kentucky Derby.
It was.
And on this day, May 4th, 1897, we had the 23rd annual Kentucky Derby. Buttons Garner. That's not a horse. That's a jockey. Buttons Garner aboard Typhoon II wins the Kentucky Derby with an official time of 2 minutes, 12 and a half seconds.
Wow.
But yeah, Buttons Garner,
Buttons Garner.
not the horse. That's the jockey. Buttons Garner would be a good horse name too.
You
Honestly,
could flip those actually
Yeah.
right there. Interesting stat. And this day in 1975, MLB Houston's Astros Bob Watson scores baseball's 1 millionth run of all time. Keep up with those stats. Let's see what else here. Boom, 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 boom. In 2002, in this day, Barry Bonds hit his 400th home run as a Giant. Bonds, the first player with 400 home runs for one team and 100 with another, the Pirates. Being the first person, that's crazy.
here's one for you. How about this? In 1943, NL Commissioner Ford Frick demonstrates the revised Bellata ball to reporters by bouncing it on his office carpet. The ball proves to be 50% livelier. They used it due to war shortages. Short-lived, only used during the 1943 Major League season. The rubber was being used for the war, which you use rubber to make a baseball score. So instead, they made a mixture of cork and Bellata, which was used inside the ball. It was supposed to be bouncier, though the inside, the rubber is bouncier than Bellata and cork. So whenever you actually put real force into it, the offensive numbers ended up dropping. So the ball bounced more whenever it was like light contact compared to normal baseball. But you get heavy contact on it, it actually proved to be a little bit dead.
2018, one of my favorite baseball players of all time, not a Red Sox, Albert Pujols collected his 3,000th MLB hit.
Nice. 5-0 win. There you go. There's a couple birthdays out there that I just found.
I got a fun one. As an umpire, 1963, Bob Shaw, pitcher, sets a record. 5 balks in a single game.
Oh my gosh. Stop doing what you're doing. I did not know it.
We did this is a fun one this weekend. We did my partner actually called a balk on a pitcher in a game, and the coach yelled from the dugout, "I don't know what a balk is, but I know that was a balk," because the pitcher didn't love the call. Yeah. His coach yells in from the dugout, "I don't even know what a balk is, but I know that was a balk."
Speaking of a rule, did you see over the weekend, I believe it was Cubs, who they were playing, forgot they were playing. I have to go back and look. But a rule that it makes sense. A walk, said player goes down. They pinch runner goes to first. Counsel comes out and asks the question, appeals the play. Player who walked did not reach first base. Pinch runner came in, got on first base, and called him out.
Yep.
Got to reach first base, folks.
Yep.
Craig Counsell looked confused. He's like, wait a minute. And then it looked just like a youth baseball team. They didn't know how to appeal first base.
Yep.
They didn't get the ball in play. There was the coach was there. They're going, hey, you have to come set and then appeal.
We've had to teach the kids both of those situations because, in youth baseball, courtesy for my pitcher, courtesy for my run,
get to
my
first
catcher
base first.
So kids walking off the field, I'm like, no, touch the bag first, then you go to the dugout.
Speaking of, there's one, the Yankees. It was early in the season this year. They won in a walk-off walk, bases loaded walk. I think it was in the 10th, and I can't remember who was coming to score. Maybe it was Chisholm, and he had Ryan McMahon standing there at home plate, like celebrating the guy coming home, and Chisholm's yelling, "Go to first, go to first, go to first!" Yep. And McMahon jogs up to first base, touches it, and comes back and celebrates because that'd be a silly way to lose a baseball game. You don't get the advance.
Couple birthday. Happy birthday. 6-time WNBA All-Star and Olympic gold medalist, Coach Don Staley. Happy birthday. And also back-to-back Masters champion. Happy birthday, Roy McIlroy. And everybody else we've talked about. My son, Henry T., everybody else. Coming up, Major League Baseball, Evan Bland, and a whole lot more. Sit back, relax. We'll be right back.
Financial emergency. Apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NBA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
This moment of uncontrollable laughter was made possible by a 32-year-old man with little to no coordination attempting to execute a simple cartwheel. His name is Sergeant Warner, but young James, our laughing friend here, simply calls him Dad. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Lincoln's local news, talk, sports, and weather station. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, and KFRX HD3. Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The U.S. Supreme Court moments ago has temporarily restored access to the abortion pill mifepristone by mail. The Fifth Circuit had blocked access to the common drug in an order last week. And now today's order, signed by Justice Samuel Alito, will remain in effect for a week so the court can give it further consideration and get a response from both sides. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more on the stakes.
Mifepristone was approved as safe and effective by the FDA back in 2000. It's used in about 2/3 of all abortions in the U.S., and it's also commonly used in miscarriages. Louisiana and other states are trying to restrict its access. And since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, we have seen 20 Republican-led states now ban or severely limit all abortion access, while many Democratic-led states have passed laws to protect providers who prescribe the abortion pill by mail.
U.S. Central Command says that a U.S.-flagged ship has transited the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. says it's beginning to guide ships through that strait, which has been effectively closed since the war began, says ABC's Tom Soufi-Burge.
For shipping companies throughout this war, part of the reason they have not transited through that waterway is because of the perceived threat. And, shipping companies, insurance companies linked to them have said repeatedly that they will not make that voyage, many commercial ships, until they have absolutely cast iron guarantees, until that perceived danger is down markedly.
The increase in oil prices caused by the closure having a negative impact on President Trump's approval rating, says ABC's Karen Travers at the White House.
His disapproval rating is significantly higher than his approval rating. That's on issues like his handling of inflation, his handling of the cost of living, his handling of the war in Iran, and his overall handling of the economy.
Authorities in Oklahoma searching for suspects after a shooting left 13 people hurt near a lake. You're listening to ABC News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
A single motorcycle crash in West Lincoln over the weekend that claims one life. Good morning, I'm Jeff Moats. Right now, 66 degrees at KFOR. A 59-year-old Lincoln man died in a motorcycle crash in West Lincoln Saturday night after he apparently fled from an attempted traffic stop. The crash happened near Northwest 48th Street and Interstate 80. According to the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office, the rider who died has been identified as Jeffrey McDonald of Lincoln. And based on the preliminary investigation, a state trooper tried to make the motorcycle stop for speeding. The motorcycle did not, instead accelerated. The rider failed to navigate the off-ramp and crashed. Life-saving efforts were attempted on McDonald, but he was later pronounced dead at the scene. No other injuries were reported. You have a chance to weigh in on the proposed minimum wage standard before the Lincoln City Council today. The proposed ordinance from Councilmember James Michael Bowers would maintain the standard approved by Nebraska voters in 2022 that establishes a path to a $15 minimum wage and an annual cost of living adjustment. But Bowers said the Nebraska legislature diminished that voter-approved standard. State legislation created carve-outs allowing lower wages for younger workers and capped the voter-approved inflation adjustment at 1.75%. The ordinance by Bowers would maintain the original minimum wage standard without exceptions. The full story is up at KFORnow.com. Attendance at this year's Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting at Omaha CHI Health Center was down significantly, according to the Associated Press, with the arena a little over half full. Berkshire chairman and former CEO Warren Buffett said on CNBC, though, that the takeover from Greg Abel last year has been working. Buffett was asked about the surrounding environment not being good to invest right now.
So we've never had people in a more gambling mood than now, but that doesn't mean that investing is terrible.
But he also adds it doesn't mean prices for an awful lot of things will look very silly. He did also repeat his long-held practice of only investing in companies that he understands, and he understands fewer of the businesses as a percentage of a whole than he did 10 years ago. Sunny today and a high of 84. I'm Jeff Moats, KFOR News.
Your roof has to protect your home and family against freezing Nebraska winters, pounding spring storms, blazing summer heat, and blustery fall winds. It's asking a lot of any material to withstand all of that. This is Matt Berkey, co-owner of Golden Rule Contractors, and we use only the highest quality of roofing materials. Shingles, metal, or flat roofing will give you a beautiful new roof with no mess and made to last. For a free inspection, contact Golden Rule Contractors at goldenrulecontractors.com or give us a call at 402-641-2214.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef. This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See Capital One.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Welcome back to the Morning Hookup, hour number 2. I waited just a minute. You could hear that.
Thank you.
Music set the tone.
Was that a bathroom break?
Okay.
I was going to say that was the quickest bathroom break of all time.
Just went in the hallway. We got troughs installed now.
We bought some
studio trough.
Still in play.
Advocating.
I knew you weren't investing in getting cake.
Yeah.
Sitting up.
I wish.
Here's cake.
You locked in on the diet.
Yeah. Below 220.
Ooh-wee.
Mm-hmm.
What was the starting? If I can add, you don't have to put yourself out there, but
252.
Oh, all right. We're 32 and some change. Let's go.
That's
goal.
That's respectable.
Whenever I feel like stopping.
Whenever
I don't know.
like. Now you're locked in.
It's easy. Am I a little bit tired of the meals I eat? Yes.
I feel like.
Is it also so much easier than having to pick something, get off work, and what am I making tonight?
Yeah.
You got chicken, rice, and broccoli in the fridge for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
You got veggies and eggs I'm doing for lunch.
You just gotta
protein shakes.
You just gotta mix around the sauces.
Yeah. It's a different. Every single week's a different flavor of chicken.
Yeah.
This week we're going kind of Italian. It's a garlic and then red wine vinegar, some herbs in there. So that chicken's marinating currently.
It's meal prep at a different level.
And then I got balsamic glazed broccoli.
There's nothing better than a balsamic glaze.
Yeah. And then I'll probably do like a touch of.
Especially you throw those on the top of some good Brussels sprouts.
Just like I'll probably do a touch of like probably make some sort of like get some low fat mayo, mix in some garlic, pick a bit of a garlic aioli sauce for it. Yeah. Won't be too bad.
Not too bad.
No, but we're trucking along. We're moving along.
Nice.
If anyone needs diet recommendations that have worked great for me multiple times, let me know. I got you.
Coming up here in about
hit the stream, hit my DMs.
Hit my DMs. Coming up in about 10 minutes. Evan Blam, my World Herald, will jump back into Husker baseball. Storage miss baseball, a lot of that stuff. But hey, Derby. About the Derby on Saturday, as we came skating right into a restaurant and got a chance to catch it. But boy, what a race that was ran, that from last to first. And looking at that race, first female trainer to get it done at the Kentucky Derby. Brothers go 1 and 2 on their respected horses. It was overall a really nice day for the Derby. There was drama before, as one of the horses got spooked or not, flipped over, fell, had a late scratch in that one. But overall, Kentucky Derby comes and goes, winners and losers out there. But the tempo was set late in that one.
The golden tempo. I like that.
Nice.
This was not Rich Strike comeback, which that's probably my favorite Derby ever.
Oh,
when Rich Strike bolts through the field and it wasn't last to first, but it was the longest odds, comes through the field to win it. Golden Tempo was just sitting back waiting, but that final kick was ridiculous.
That was crazy,
especially because they took the long way around. Like they went all the way around all that traffic and came back up towards the rail. They ran further than those other horses through that final furlong, and they still smoked them all.
It was incredible, man. They stated also, by the way, what was it? 19.6 million viewers, most on record for any Derby. And again, get the first female, she gets it done. You win a lot of money doing that.
Yeah.
I think it was like 4 million.
Winning the Kentucky Derby is, well, it's kind of like having that one-hit wonder song, because that horse is going to continue to make you money year after year after year after year after year. You're a Kentucky Derby winner. Everyone's going to want to have Golden Tempo's son racing for them.
Yep.
The bloodlines that you get, congrats. You just cashed your golden ticket for riches for years to come.
DeVoe, the 18th woman to saddle a horse in the Derby in its 152-year history, gets it done for the first time. Sheila Riley's runner-up result was back in 1992.
Do we know how Will Wilson did in the market?
Not going to call him.
I know who finished. Emerging Market fell out of that top 3, didn't it?
Yes. Fifth, place 10th.
Well, he did say last week, though, that he was going to have money on Renegade to finish top 3.
Okay.
So Renegade finished second, which the odds are there probably wasn't that much money, but that could be a make your money back type bet.
Yep, could be.
It's such a tough race. Anything can happen with. It's a mile and a half, and you could have the fastest horse out there, and they're getting boxed in, and you literally never know what can happen.
Always fun to watch, though. The lead up to the Oaks and everything that happens out there, but always fun to take a peek at as well. But again, now Golden Tempo got the first leg of the illustrious Triple Crown. As the Triple Crown is so interesting because it's so many. It's the different services. It's a different length of races on how these things get done. So, and not a lot of time.
No,
in between.
Yeah, but with how this horse runs, I mean, it does. This is what Golden Tempo does. It sits back, and then it waits for the other horses to tire, and it's endurance, and then it's a sprint to the finish at the end. I'll be curious again with different lengths, different tracks. I'll be curious to see if that
Typically,
continues
some
to
of
work.
these get a little bit faster, slower tracks, length. Sometimes the weather plays a key in some of these. Does Golden Tippo run? There's a lot of factors that go into getting to that level.
Was American Pharoah the last Triple Crown winner? Is that right?
I think you are right. I think. Question mark.
I can check this. Oh no, Justify.
I forgot about Justify.
Yeah, because we had like a 30-year, was it 40? Almost a 40-year gap in between Triple Crown winners, and then you had 2 in 4 years, something like that. And you should forget about Justify, because American Pharoah was the big one that ended the drought and everyone was talking about. Also, great name for a Triple Crown winner.
Yeah.
American Pharoah.
Yeah,
that's the one I remember.
Yeah. You had back-to-back Triple Crown winners in the 70s with Seattle Slew, not a great Triple Crown winner name. And then Affirmed's a fine one. Then you had Secretariat in 73, and then Seattle Slew and Affirmed in 77 and 78.
See, we were talking about name value of the horses, and Will says it doesn't matter. I think it matters.
I do think it matters.
Yeah, there's something to that. How do they come up with these horses' names?
I mean, so many of these, like the first 4 Triple Crown winners, great horse names. Ready? 1919, Sir Barton.
Yeah.
Sir Barton.
1930, Gallant Fox.
Sweet.
1935, Omaha.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, duh.
That's the best one.
Oh, no. Wait for the best one. 1937. The timing on this one's also interesting, given the events that were about to come in the world. War Admiral.
Oh.
War Admiral might be the best horse name I've ever heard, ever.
Yeah, see, there's kind of like a intimidation factor with the names, you know?
How about 1946? Assault. That's a great horse name. Assault. What's next? Battery? Breaking and entering?
That's good.
Homicide?
Disorderly conduct.
Disorderly
criminal mischief.
Dude, Homicide would low-key be a good horse name. Hey, if there's a Homicide in the field next year, I am betting my life savings on Homicide to go win the Kentucky Derby.
I did
manslaughter.
This is good. I was just reading that the
minor in possession.
Yes, it might be. I like that one. That's the one. I did just read the 151st Preakness is, by the way, shaping up to be quite large. It's May 16th coming up.
Steve Malone says he'd name his horse Jaywalking. This is the best.
It's really good, really good. They're talking about Golden Tippo is possible based on maybe what the field looks like. It's turning out to be a large field coming up, so they don't know if the answer will be he will be there or not. So something to watch. I mean, that's good. What else we got in there? Keep throwing the names out.
I'm trying to think of more.
Keep throwing the names
charges
out.
Here.
Operating while intoxicated.
The jockey has a very specific role that morning.
Yes, you know what to do, how to handle yourself.
Sir, your jockey's drinking at the bar. Straight whiskey.
Yeah,
that's the job description.
That's the whole point.
Owned by Bill Hooks. That's what we supply. Disorderly conduct coming in through Malone. We have no business being the horse race business, by the way, with those names.
No. They would not accept us.
Fraud. No one would bet on that one.
Is the Kentucky Derby kind of like the Masters, where it's like a prestigious sort of thing?
Yeah, that's Augusta National at Churchill Downs. That turns out to be more of a again, the race is the race. That's the main event. But there are so many other. I was talking to my kids about it. Never been, but I have buddies that have been. It's not just that one day. There is so much other things that go on between the oaks and the parties and the dresses and the hats and whatever else. You got another name? Go.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not gonna say. I'll say it off the air.
All right. We'll keep it simple. We'll keep it simple. Our horse is Ron. Love it. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with Evan Blam, the Mont World Herald. Something like Husker related that we could throw some shade at somebody.
Yeah, it's bad. I wasn't gonna say that one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Operating while intoxicated
That's
is
the best one. I
hilarious.
think I can't get past that one. Operating while intoxicated. Oh, my gosh, what is going on?
Assault with bodily fluids.
Oh my gosh. We just look up.
Possession with intent to deliver might be a little long.
They're calling that on the final stretch. And here comes possession with intent to deliver.
On the inside. Making a rail run.
Oh boy, here comes Kobe. Kobe, we haven't seen you in months.
Oh no, no. Here's the deal. He's been there. If I've known my memory, he's always in the background. But just wants to know. He's got a question.
As I've been very open about how bad the Red Sox are. They are not a good baseball team.
You guys should try
I can respect you still rocking that hat.
You guys should try being Rockies fans.
No, because it's expected.
This season it's joyful. They just got swept, and I was like, man, what a good weekend to watch the Rockies.
Man, they kind of hung in there.
They're what, like 14-20?
Yeah, I love that.
It's been respectable. They've
14-21, a game percentage points ahead of the Giants.
Oh, they stink.
Only 2 games out of third.
They don't stink. They stank.
I don't know if you guys have watched the Giants. They are bad.
I love seeing the Mets down there.
I think they've been shut out like
so
8 times this
for me.
year.
That's so great to see the Mets just being so bad. Boston's tied for the worst record in baseball. What the heck? Oh, Evan, are you ready to? Again. Gonna be losing weekend. Evan's probably like, do we have to? Welcome back to the Morning Hookup. Happy Monday. Hi, guys, from my ward held. Evan Bland. Evan, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, guys.
Well, here we are coming off a weekend that unexpected for Nebraska baseball. Looking at the series as a whole, real quick, we deep dive into probably a lot of questions that people have out there as well as we do as well. But when you look at this weekend again, you go up to Columbus, you get swept there. Thoughts on hitting more than anything in this, and I thought pitching that was okay. Maybe it was Sunday, but Nebraska looked like a team that did not approach the plate very well this weekend. When you look at their types of at bats they had in this series,
yeah, I think that's true. It's been a team all year that has responded, that has grinded out long at bats and gotten into bullpens, and we didn't see that at all this weekend. I mean, every Ohio State starter went at least 6, quality start, and all the rest. And it's kind of hard to put your finger on why that is. They had 13 total hits on the weekend. Guys like Mac Moyer, who've been rock solid all year, has a couple offers, and the guys who've been run producers, just you didn't see it show up. And I don't know how much of it was Ohio State. Like, you look at some of their numbers, they've had some decent starts. Their starters were up and down all year. If you look week to week, they've had some good ones and some real stinkers as well. And they just all kind of aligned on this week. You heard Will Bolt afterward a couple times kind of maybe alluding to the fact that Ohio State was especially up for this series Nebraska having a number next to its name and all these things, but it was just kind of bizarre. And maybe that's something future opponents are going to look at a little bit. It seemed like Ohio State was maybe a little more off-speed heavy than what Nebraska has seen this year. Not nearly as many fastballs in this particular game or in this particular series. And so, kind of confounding in a lot of ways. It's not an imposing ballpark at Bill Davis Stadium in Columbus. I mean, I think they had right around 1,000 people or less in all three games. So you're not walking into a buzzsaw or anything in that regard. I think some of it's probably mental when you talk about getting into May and you're still a few weeks away from the conference tournament and some of the things that really crescendo at the end of the season. So maybe a little bit of mental, maybe a little bit of Ohio State, maybe a little bit of just sort of the randomness that can come with baseball. But certainly to see that over 3 days was concerning and something different than really what Nebraska's offense has shown all season to that point.
Yeah, and you look at the offense, the big story heading into the weekend was the pitching rotation adjustment that was made, moving up Carson Yasa into the Friday spot. And we'll get to that here in just a second. But it was just an offensive performance. And I said this back in hour one, and it's symptomatic of the fact that it was just off. There was more immature feeling at bats, where that's kind of what this team has done all season long, is they've been mature. They've gotten through the starters. They've forced them to pitch a lot of pitches. They've kind of worked at bats, fouled off pitches, waited for their pitch. You didn't see much of that this weekend. It didn't feel like the Husker lineup that we have come to expect. So many guys just felt like they didn't feel like themselves is the easiest way to put it.
No, they didn't. I mean, a lot of strikeouts, weak contact, not many walks in this one. Ohio State seemed like they were getting up strike one, strike two all weekend very quickly, which again is sort of an odd twist because Ohio State's walked their share of guys this year. Like that was one of the weaker points for them coming into the weekend. So they showed a ton of command, and Nebraska wasn't able to take advantage of those balls in the strike zone either. So I think as Will Bolt said it afterwards too, like moving forward, you're going to need your guys you need your dudes to be dudes. Like you need Mac Moore to go back to setting the table the way he has most of the year, and Sanderson and Carey to continue what they did. And it just felt like the offense at large took a lot of the weekend off, and sort of reminiscent of some of the Nebraska teams that have struggled more in the last few years, where you just didn't put any semblance of a threat together, right? Like I think they really struggled to put the leadoff man on all weekend. That was another theme. I think 2 or 3 times total in the first 2 games for sure, and maybe 2 times in the Sunday game. But like, you're not putting any stress on opposing pitchers. You're not able to set things up, whether that's a hit and run or a stolen base or show a bunt. Like you're just really limited if you can't get that first guy on. And that was another trend that it kind of came out of nowhere, and something that certainly we're going to have our eye on into that Iowa series and beyond.
It's Evan Bland with us from the Omaha World Herald. And Evan, before this Ohio State series, we were talking about RPI management, and if you wanted to get into hosting a regional, you would have to take care of business on the way out. And now, after getting swept by Ohio State, is the talks of a Lincoln Regional out the door? Have they played themselves out of a Lincoln Regional, or is there still a path to that?
It's not over. No, it's not. There's still a path. It's a thinner path, a narrower path than what it was last week. But I mean, if you were to tell Nebraska a month or 2 ago that they would come into this point in May with an RPI at 18, like you'd be thrilled. You're absolutely like objectively on the bubble as a regional host at this point. And you still have 4 road games when you talk about at Creighton, at Minnesota to end the regular season, plus the 3 at home against Iowa. That's going to be a series that you need to take care of business in. And then you have at least 1 game in the Big Ten tournament against a quality opponent, maybe more than that. So if you're sitting at 18 now, like I'm looking at a path to 40 wins. You win your 2 weekend series, you say you beat Creighton in the midweek and win a game in the Big Ten tournament. That's 6-3 down the stretch. That's not outlandish to think that could happen. You hit 40 wins, and I think your RPI would be in a pretty decent spot too. So it's not 10 where it was going into the weekend, or 13 where it was to start last week, but you're absolutely still in that mix, and those other teams around you still need to take care of business as well. So you're not out of it, but that conversation definitely got a little bit tighter when you lost 3 games that you were counting on being, in contention for at Ohio State.
Well, Evan, let's look at the rotation. Obviously, that's a big question as they came into this weekend, flipping up the rotation with your Friday, Saturday, Sunday with Yasa Blagwicz-Kotsky. Talk about that and thoughts of, because I know everybody like, well, see what they did. They messed it up because again, I don't think we're changing again. We shouldn't change again because those things tend to hurt sometimes when you have your normal Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where Ty Horn plays back in this. But I thought Yasa was pretty darn good for a Friday night guy, the way he commanded the zone and only giving up 2. But a lot of the questions will be as going from Friday to Sunday with Kotsky on a Sunday right now.
Yeah, I think Yasa's the one piece where you're sure that that's the right spot for him. Like, he's been the best Big Ten Friday guy for them all year, like quite a bit. And he's got the strikeout stuff. He's the pro prospect. Like, put that guy out there on a Friday. He had the best showing, certainly at Ohio State last weekend. But yeah, I mean, beyond that, you definitely have some things you're working through. I mean, Blagwicz was again pretty shaky on Saturday. He limited the damage, but you still would love more length than what he brought. He's been pretty up and down, and I think you can't help but think about just the innings that have accumulated on his arm this year as a guy who was a reliever as a freshman, and now he's seeing more of a workload than he's really ever seen. And so you're getting to the point in the year where guys can wear down. And so is that a situation for him? Is he able to work through that? And then Kotsky, I mean, it's just been confounding too to see the struggles that he's had after the year that he had to start in the midweek and coming out of the bullpen. They could in theory move Ty Horn back into the rotation, maybe on a Saturday or on a Sunday. I mean, he's somebody who can give length, and I think has shown that ability more recently than some of the other guys. But then you lose out on a guy who's coming out of the pen multiple times a weekend. So you have to figure that part out. It's worth noting that there's just the one midweek game left at Creighton. So you're not really worried about a 4-man rotation quite as much as you would have been a month ago. So that's the other piece. And then, like, if you're like, Nebraska's done this before, like you think back to even a year ago when Horn was a starter and was struggling to go 5, Nebraska almost baked it into their game plan to say, okay, if Horn goes 4, we're just going to piggyback off him. And that's just going to be part of the game plan. So maybe that's what it becomes. Maybe it becomes sort of like a Blagwicz, Tucker Timmerman sort of game on a Saturday and a Kotsky Horn game on a Sunday. Like, I think you can find ways to mix and match and maybe almost have 2 starters kind of doing the work of what they're trying to get done. Maybe that's another possibility, but you're getting to the point in the season now where you'd love to know what your roles are and have confidence in those guys in these key spots. So they still have a couple weeks to figure it out.
Generally speaking here, Evan, whenever you look at the final couple weeks of the season into postseason play with the Big Ten tournament and whether or not you're hosting, you'll be in a regional. How much concern is there from you coming out of this weekend? You don't want to overreact in baseball. And we saw a team that looked nothing like I think what we've come to expect from them this past weekend in Columbus. But you also flipped around the timing of this and the point of the season that you're at, the worst possible time to be hitting a potential lull, a potential rough stretch. So what realistically is your concern coming out of the weekend in a general overarching sense?
I think the offense will get back to what it's been doing all year. Like, if you're just talking sample sizes and you see what they've done in 45 games versus 3 games, like I'm going to err on the side of that was an aberration. And for whatever reason, for maybe multiple reasons, and they bounce back, the pitching piece to me is a little bit more concerning, beyond what Yas is doing on Friday, just because like if you're a regional host or a team that has aspirations of going deep, like you usually are going to have 2 or 3 guys that you're just like, yeah, these are my dudes. This is who I'm rolling with. We have confidence that they're going to battle. And you just don't know from start to start. Like you've seen Gavin Blackowitz be really good and come out early. Kind of the same thing with Katsky. And they've already obviously moved Horn, who's been really good at times in his new role and had a couple of rough ones, including Sunday as well. So I think that's the spot to me that they give up 7 home runs to Ohio State on Sunday. Like that came out of nowhere against a team that was okay in the Buckeyes, but not nearly what we saw on Sunday. So I think you have some concern there. And you just kind of have to hope like you're getting these guys on good days and that the offense is the good version that's going to respond and keep you in contention. I think the defense has been the anchor this year. They're still a top 10 fielding club to this point. So that's at least an area where you can count on, some strong, steady support. But yeah, I think the pitching piece to me, the concern level goes up, and now you've got a team in Iowa coming in that has been hitting the ball really well. They've been one of the better scoring clubs in the Big Ten, certainly in the last month or so. And so how does that group respond? The pitching, for Nebraska respond this weekend and beyond. I think that's the part you'd really love to see some better results in before the games start to become do or die.
Evan, you just briefly touched on Iowa, and that was going to be where I segued into what do we know about this Iowa baseball team? They come in 28-18, which is a pretty respectable record. And as we know, unfortunately, this university has kind of owned Nebraska in sports. So how does the baseball team take some games from them in this series?
Well, you mentioned it, and we've talked about it with Iowa. Like it sets up in a way that there's probably going to be a little bit of PTSD from fans. Like if you're thinking back to how football ended and certainly how men's basketball ended, like Nebraska baseball is still at this moment in a position to host a regional with a strong finish. And I know people don't want to hear it, but like if you lose a series to Iowa at home, that probably puts that conversation to bed. So there's going to be a little bit of extra nerves, a little extra probably emotional baggage in this one than you might typically see. But if you're just talking from a baseball perspective, it's a team that defends at a very similar clip to Nebraska. Like I mentioned, they're one of the better scoring teams in the Big Ten. I think top 40 in the country. Their pitching's been so this might shape up to be more of a higher scoring weekend. You might see some kind of 9-7 sort of games, just with how these are going. But RPI wise, Iowa's right around 80. So this is a team that is out of the at-large conversation. They're trying to make the Big Ten tournament. I think they're right in the middle of the pack in that regard. So they're trying to get into that field and get hot. But you can bet there's going to be some motivation on their end as well to play spoiler to what Nebraska is doing. So just from a baseball perspective, should be a pretty good series. And maybe when you take into account the rivalry aspect of it, a little extra intensity too.
Again, we're speaking to Evan Blam from the Omaha World Herald. And Evan, you nailed it. The best hitting team in the Big Ten percentage-wise is Iowa by a point over Nebraska, 13th best ERA in the Big Ten, as they sit 8th coming to Lincoln.
So the key, sounds like, is put up some runs?
Put up some runs. Be opportunistic at the plate. Evan, I want to get your thoughts overall from the global national perspective of the Big Ten in baseball right now. Because you look up and with the additions of UCLA, we know what they're doing right now. Oregon, USC, what it's done from that perspective for the Big Ten as you look at the SEC and the Big Ten and the ACC, and also how closely that we'll watch the series in 2 weeks of Oregon and USC from the RPI side.
Yeah, certainly the addition of those West Coast schools continues to raise the profile of the league. I mean, UCLA has been number 1 all year long. Oregon hosted a regional last year. USC had the unbeaten start to this year. They're still 10th in the RPI. So I think Nebraska's benefited from that. I think nationally people are talking about the Big Ten more than they have been. and maybe ever, just because of the addition of those schools. The next thing to watch, I think, for the next couple of weeks is going to be that top four, because for people that might not know, the Big Ten tournament now this year really incentivizes finishing in the top four, because you don't play until a single elimination quarterfinal starting on Friday. So if you finish 5th or below, then 5th to 12th, you're in sort of a 4-team double elimination round robin kind of deal. Makes it really hard to make a run and win that thing. So if you're Nebraska, if you're any of those other teams, you're striving for that top four. I think it's still pretty clear cut. I mean, it's UCLA, Oregon, USC, Nebraska, and I think they're all 2 games clear of everybody else. So that's the central motivation there. But then, I mean, that USC Oregon series to end the year, it kind of feels like it could be an elimination series for a potential regional host. Like USC still top 10 in the RPI, but they don't have a quad 1 win to their name. They're 0 for 8. And so I think that's a must win if the Trojans are going to be in that hosting mix. And if Oregon finishes strong, I believe they still have UCLA as well. So there's a path where if they keep winning games, they could jump right back into that mix too. So it kind of feels like a two host league for the Big Ten this year. Clearly UCLA, and then maybe one of Nebraska, USC, and Oregon, depending on how those other series shake out.
Evan Bland with us here from the Omaha World Herald. And Evan, before we get you out of here, let's shift gears and talk really the biggest football story of the weekend. That's Ahmad Hudson, the big-time tight end. He commits to the home state school. LSU, is this thing over? Probably not. Recruitments are never over till somebody signs on the dotted line, but still a guy Nebraska had spent plenty of resources on, a guy that they wanted badly. He announces his commitment to Lane Kiffin and the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, tough one. I mean, that was always going to be a tough pull anyway. A guy from Louisiana, 5-star. I won't forget what he did at the Battle of the Boneyard last summer for the 7-on-7 tournament at Memorial Stadium. I mean, he was unbelievable as someone who has the size, the speed, the explosiveness to do what he did. He's going to be a guy to watch at the next level. And, LSU won out. Like you said, you never know in today's world with NIL and rev share, whether that changes down the stretch this year or, who knows, in a year or two in the transfer portal. Sometimes, schools and players reunite there as well. But definitely a guy that has been on Nebraska's radar for well over a year, multiple years. They visited him, put a lot of time and effort into recruiting him. He was probably target number 1 of Trey Taylor, who's the quarterback commit for Nebraska in 27. So I don't get the sense that thing's going to flip anytime soon, but, another reminder that Nebraska is going to continue to set its sights high, but you got to get over the top. You don't get a ton of credit for finishing 2nd or 3rd in some of these high profile recruitments. You got to bring them in and finish it out. And, I think clearly the challenge for Nebraska is not just to start winning games, but then also, as Matt Rule has said, to continue to be competitive in the money department and in what you can offer. And Hudson's recruitment is a little unique too because of the basketball factor. And so I guess he's going to be in the mix to play basketball there. And, I don't know how much of that factored into why he didn't choose Nebraska this time either. But another guy I think Nebraska fans are certainly going to be keeping an eye on as his career goes, just because of how high he was on Nebraska. And ultimately they finish, bridesmaid in that particular one.
Evan, in the last segment, we were talking about the Kentucky Derby and the name factor that comes with some of the horses' names. Do you think there's an intimidation factor with some of those names? And if you had to name a horse, what would you name it?
Oh, man.
I'll give you one that I had all weekend long. Husker related. Storm That Puppy. That's a horse name.
Storm That Puppy. That was a good one. I think, was there one that was called Third Divorce or something like that?
I don't know. That'd be great.
That was kind of funny. They did the journalism one a few years ago was pretty good. Oh man, I don't know what I'd do. Third Divorce is pretty great. That's you're overlapping some personal baggage into your horse, and if you can win with that puppy, that's going to get some people's attention. But I love the names, man. you could have a whole show, I think, probably based around some of the names that these horses pulled out. But Golden Tempo, that's solid. That's a solid name. That's a memorable winner, I think. Golden Tempo.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun stuff. Well, Evan, man, we appreciate your time as always, my friend. Take care of yourself. Have a great week. We'll talk to you real soon.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Evan Blaming on My World Herald. Great stuff from him. I almost said we just did a whole segment on names of horses. And I'm sure there's more been brewing in your head.
Yeah, there's good Husker-related ones out there.
Yes.
Touchdown Tommy.
Ooh.
That's a horse.
There you go.
I've had this one before. I'm not sure if it would fit in with the characters you have, but Man, Woman, and Child.
Yeah. How do you fit that one in?
Yeah.
It'd be a good one. I like that.
Or put him in the aisles.
Well, could we go Bangarang somehow?
Bangarang.
Oh,
Come on
nice.
now.
Nice. That's a good one.
Into the 8 slot, Bangarang.
I mean, there's so many Pavelka-isms you could
Sammy
use.
boy.
Sammy my boy.
Sammy my boy.
Sammy my boy. Wisconsin pie holes. It's a good one.
Make room for daddy.
Yeah.
We're getting there now. So
Pavelka's good.
That's good. Let's take our final break. Come back with stories that we missed.
He can still use that one next year. I didn't even think about that.
Hey, we're not scheduled for any rain this week, are we?
No, some overcast conditions. What next? Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday coming up tomorrow. It's like a little lull in the forecast, I think.
Well, it's better than I think I've said before, we got a whole bunch of grass seed in my backyard, and I'm getting sick and tired of keeping it watered at all times because we don't have in-ground sprinklers. So it's me out there with the hose. That works too, but from a convenience point of view, the hose is quicker and honestly more efficient.
I mean,
just take 15 minutes back there and spray everything down. But overcast skies will help with the evaporation, but still.
Yeah, it's 59, 61, low chances. Then you get into the mid 70s. Looks like a beautiful weekend.
She needs some germination. Once I get germination, there's hope, you know. Right now, you're just watering with no results.
Yeah. We just have no tournament this weekend. A Thursday night game and a double header. And that's it.
I have my final game of the spring season this week.
Jeez, that's crazy. I'm going to be balancing. Why is he yelling? Like, I'm going to be balancing the pitching staff coming up.
Oh, yeah.
We play between Thursday and Tuesday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games.
Especially when you get into tournaments and stuff.
Between Thursday and Tuesday, and then we head to Des Moines in 2 weeks.
Looking at you, Triple SA. Okay, this kid had this many pitches. This kid pitched this many innings.
Yeah.
Because there's so many rules. Like you can pitch
3-6-8. I love the 3-6-8s. 3 in a day to pitch on the next day. 6 in a full day. 8 in a tournament.
Yep. And then if you make it to Championship Sunday, you get an extra in.
Yeah, that's that Triple Crown thing.
Yeah.
Triple Crown does that where it's nobody does it right though.
Which I don't think we're entering that, or you Triple SA. I don't think we're doing state this year.
Yeah, I know.
There's like 7 majors teams at the 14U level, so it's just
like nobody does it right. Why don't we ever get it right and do pitch count?
Yeah, it's dumb.
The stories we missed. The Morning Hookup.
Welcome back in the Morning Hookup. Special thanks there to Evan Lamb on My World Herald. Boy, got a couple golf wins I got for you. I don't know if you watch over the weekend, but Cam Young absolutely dominated at the Cadillac by 6 over Scotty Scheffler, who now has not finished outside. Like he's back-to-back runner-up. He's got a win, but he's also not finished outside the top 10 all year long in that one. But on the ladies' side, Nelly Corda. Have you seen what she's doing right now?
Dominating.
6 starts, 3 wins. Back to number 1 in the world. She is off to a historic start in ladies golf. She goes back to back, by the way, and to start her season off. That's impressive.
I will say, Cadillac Championship played at, naming wise, one of my favorite golf course names,
the
Blue Monster.
Yes, it's intimidating. There was some interesting stuff in that tournament. If you watch it, Cam Young, it's a gentleman's game. He called a penalty on himself as he thought he hit the ground, the ball moved. Adam Scott did the most amateur thing ever in the first round, or I can't remember. He hit the wrong golf ball.
Ooh.
He did finish in a tie for 3rd place.
So what happens when you do that?
It's a 2-stroke, I believe. And I think you have to I can't remember. I know it's I think it's a 2-stroke penalty, and maybe have to go back and re-hit the golf ball as well after the 2-stroke penalty. How do you hit the wrong golf ball?
I will say, as a total amateur golfer, if I hit one into the trees, into the woods, and I'm going to the area, I think went out of bounds, and I find a golf ball that's not mine, that's my golf ball.
Exactly.
That's the one I hit over here. My ball is somewhere over here. I found a ball. I'm playing it.
I'm playing it.
Hey, I'm an amateur. I'm not taking that 2-stroke penalty. That is my ball. That's the ball I've been playing all around. What are you talking about? Yeah, I've been playing a TaylorMade all around. No, I didn't flip.
This one might make you guys feel old. It made me feel old. Remember the name Maurice Jones-Drew?
Oh, yeah.
His son, Deuce Jones-Drew, commits to UCLA. And so,
nice.
Yeah, I remember watching Maurice Jones-Drew growing up. Now he has a son that is in college already. So now I feel as if I'm getting old.
He was fun with the Jags, man.
Yeah, he was.
Well, a lot of fun. Have you seen this? Obviously, you got second round of the NBA. You got the Sixers and the Knicks playing each other. And the Sixers have announced how they're trying to keep Knicks fans out of their arena. In order to avoid all that of them taking over, the Sixers have announced on their ticket purchasing website that they'll be restricting ticket sales to fans who live in the greater Philadelphia area. The billing address will have to be within the Philadelphia area for fans to buy tickets, and those outside zone will have their purchases canceled.
I was expecting worse from Philly, honestly. I was expecting they're encouraging fans to bring shivs to the game.
So
I didn't know you could do that.
It's the promotion night is Stab a Knicks fan night. Welcome to Philly.
Yeah, there you go. They're going to try to keep them out.
Oh, Philly
I
fans.
didn't see this one over the weekend. Major League Baseball record was tied over the weekend. 4 runs scored without a ball in play in the second inning of the Reds and Pirates game. The Reds pitchers walked 7 straight hitters, tying a Major League Baseball record.
I did see that. Yeah.
Wow.
Final score was like 17-7
Yep.
or something like that.
The Savannah Bananas broke their own attendance record, if anyone cares.
Nope.
All
They
right.
also got beat.
They always lose. I'm not even good.
You're the last person I thought bring up a Savannah Banana story.
Yeah, I saw it around on social media.
Just thought I'd talk about it.
It's a baseball team full of guys that are better dancers than baseball players.
I'm gonna find.
Hey, let it be known, no disrespect. Well, there's some the umpire,
no,
the umpires I have no respect for. The CEO, the guy who's always wearing the yellow suit, nothing but respect for that guy and what he built. That is the nicest thing I'll say. Also, I realize it still says Evan Bland's phone on our screen. Let's get that fixed. Nothing but respect for the CEO and the league that he built. It's not for me. It's for a lot of people out there. And if it makes baseball more popular, okay. Just I won't watch it.
Hey, any updates on your on the soccer team that's facing relegation?
Oh, huge win over the weekend yesterday. Thank you for setting me up on that one. It was the most fun I've had watching a Tottenham game in a long time. Aston Villa, 5th
They're
in the
facing
league.
relegation.
Tottenham, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, not anymore. They're out of the relegation zone.
They
now.
got the one win they needed.
They're a point clear of West Ham. West Ham had a bad loss on Saturday, so Tottenham now controls their own destiny. You just got to go match what West Ham does the rest of the way down the stretch, and you are safe. But they went and beat the 5th place team in Aston Villa. A huge win for them, 2-0. It's the best soccer they have played in probably a year now. So that was good to see. I know the folks around here probably, for the most part, do not care, but I had a lovely Sunday for the first time in a long time watching my favorite soccer team because I have not had joy watching them in a long time, at least a year, since the Europa League final.
You're welcome.
Speaking of my Celtics, I don't know if you guys saw Jaylen Brown go online He was live streaming last night on Twitch and was basically doing like
you can't do
this play-by-play breakdown of Game 7 and was calling out the officials and making all types of excuses, calling Embiid a flopper. It's a really bad look. It really is. As a Celtics fan, I can admit that. I think you take your loss and you kind of move on. It feels like a very sore loser moment.
Yeah,
I want to get your guys' thoughts on this.
That might be extreme, but if you're the front office of the Celtics, that might be the first step towards like being like, all right, maybe this guy is not a team fit if we're trying to build a championship level team.
Yeah, especially when
again, and as I said back in hour one, I'll say it again. There are times where you as a professional athlete just have to tip your cap to the other professional athlete and say, he had a better night than me. He makes a lot of money too. That's what I saw in that 76ers game. To go out there and make excuses, winners don't make excuses.
He said that the refs had an agenda against him. Like, okay, come on, man.
Like legitimately, I don't think I'm being extreme here in saying that can be the type of thing that can change a front office's opinion about you.
You're not being extreme at all.
No.
Especially when all year, he was this was the year without Tatum, and he was the number one option. And then, like on his stream last night, he said that this was his favorite season, at being in the NBA. It's just there's a lot of weird. It's kind of like an animosity sort of thing going on. It feels like it's
bad luck,
really bad luck.
Also, as we navigate the week, by the way, put it in your calendars, not to forget everybody taking the time to hang out with us, and we appreciate you. Coach Fred Hoiberg will be on with us 10:15 Wednesday, along with Henry T. Buchanan. So don't miss that coming up Wednesday. Trying to keep everybody out of trouble, especially Henry T, as we'll navigate that interview coming up.
We got a big week coming up here.
Big week, man.
Well, it's both going to be slow from a sports point of view. A big week with Fred coming on a Wednesday. It's
tomorrow.
A huge series at Cohen Husker baseball this weekend.
Tomorrow we'll navigate hoops with Robin Washington, then Brian Munson talking recruiting with those guys.
Yeah, got to get the Ahmad Hudson scoop from B.
It's a big week coming up. Looks like some good weather as well.
I forgot one more story we missed. We didn't talk about how much time we have left here, Caleb.
About 45 seconds.
I should have known that.
You should have known. It's right there.
So how about some praise from Andy Reid to Emmett Johnson?
Oh yeah, I was going to navigate
comparing Emmett Johnson to Shady McCoy.
Emmett's going to be the guy. He's going to work his tail off. They're going to love him in Kansas City.
I can't believe I almost forgot about that. As a Broncos fan, there's a partial reason there, but
that hurt.
Nah, I'm still rooting for Emmett. But high praise there. We'll see what type of role he can carve out for himself in KC.
Flex says you guys are not officially old because that makes me and Hooksy ancient. Yes, I'll do that tomorrow. Brian Munson, Robin Washit, both with HuskerOnline.com. We'll talk NBA, NHL as well as those playoffs continue. You guys have a great Monday. Thanks for hanging out with us. Catch you on a Tuesday.